Okay, I want to say that this reading started while I was in the shower today. And readings sometimes start there, I have to tell you. What came to me, and what I often am looking for when I'm in the shower, before I'm sitting with the cards to do the reading, is how to pull the cards. And over the years, I've got a different set of ways to pull the cards when I'm impressed that that's a good way to do it. What I'm wanting to say today is that I was given to understand a way to pull the cards for this reading, of which I've never done. So, and it made me very happy. And the way I understand drawing these cards for this reading, that the meaning of where they're being drawn, or the way in which they're being drawn, is a reflection of that. What will be coming from the reading today will be coming from the very center of your being, the very middle of who you are. And I also got these words that came with it, which are these: face up. And it can mean more than one thing, those two words. Face up to yourself, face up to something. It could mean not only a single thing, but it could mean more than one thing. It could mean face up, meaning keep your face up, keep looking up, keep lifting up your lights to the higher ways of seeing and being. So I just deliver those words to you for however they may speak to you now or later. Face up. Now, how did those words come to me? It so happens that the way I was made to understand to pull your cards today was actually by pulling them, by opening the deck, and drawing them face up. All right. This is a good reading. It'll take me a while to get it into words, so please don't hold on to any of the words too hard one at a time, but let them all gather up and then try to understand from what they're telling from it as a big picture. So, the first card is the Two of Wands. It's the sign, or the planet Mars in the sign of Aries. The warrior spirit, the active, the soldier, the champion, the protector, the defender, the marching qualities of ourself. In the suit of beginnings, Aries is springtime, leaping forward, new life, spontaneous, excited, kicking up your heels. So that's your first card, and it's coupled with the Queen of Cups, which is a very curious coupling when I began to describe the qualities of these two cards. One is very energetic, fiery, leaping forward, spontaneous, kicking up the heels, going out, getting started. And the Queen of Cups is much more about being contemplative, looking within, following and feeling the emotional state, letting yourself drift on those watery places of yourself and your surroundings. Seems like a contradiction. It can be felt as a contradiction. We can even just say it is a contradiction. And I want to say you can live with this, you can work with this, you can handle these sides of yourself, this impulsive, ready to go self. And the Two of Wands is the suit of the spirit, the suit of energy, the suit of intuition, creativity, sexuality, what turns you on. So I would say that that card in this position with the Queen, I may be just saying that you're feeling back and forth right now between wanting this impulsive, wanting to step out, go forward, do some stepping up with yourself, your energetic self, your sense of energy, your understanding of energy, and this more watery, more and it's a slower motion. It's a slower method of being with yourself and with the quality of what you're understanding for yourself. I'll just leave it there, and it's nothing to be upset about. It's just something that's speaking. It's being said. These two aspects are present very strongly at this time, and my main suggestion is don't deny either one of these parts of yourself. See if and as and how you might actually balance between, allow both of these things to have their expression in their fullest form without one squelching the other or canceling the other out. The reading is resting, or things at this time for you are resting on what this card represents. It's the Seven of Wands. It's called Valor, meaning courage. There is Mars again, the warrior, this time in this sign of Leo. The expressive, the courageous, the coming from the heart, the being on display for the world to see and proud of it. So, and these colors, this rich violet, purple in the background, and these bright yellows, reds, and oranges in the foreground. Again, it's a kind of contrast, but we need contrasts so that each can be seen in a more intensified, and we can appreciate each component. So there's this rich, deep indigo quality of spirit, of mystery, and then there's this bright, fiery, ready to shine aspect. And I would say, again, this is not a contradiction. It's the fact that we gather, we receive from those more purple places of ourselves, those inner, deeper, mysterious, oftentimes inexpressible, but extremely fully felt things we understand, and then we bring it to light, we express, we shine. It shines through us, is another way to say it. So that's what the reading is based on. And I think that's a beautiful image to imagine for yourself, that you are full of rich spiritual qualities. You have access into the magnificent wonders of the universe. And as you enrich that for yourself and partake of it in a fully vibrant way, you will shine. You do express. There's no other way but for that to burn through you, to be seen by yourself and others. The card falling in the position which speaks of something that is that's moving behind you. It's both going into the past and remaining present for you to use from now forward. I hope you can understand what I mean by that. I mean that it means that something is passing, but having lived, having it been in your life, you now can carry it forward in any way you see fit, and it will continue to inform you in new ways. So let's look at this card a little bit, and I'm going to ask you if it reminds you of someone. It is something about yourself. Absolutely. It's the Prince of Discs. Princes are the young men of their suit. A little cocky, a little full of themselves, a little, a little reckless. Can't be told much. Don't want to hear it from anyone else. They want to find it out for themselves. Some stubbornness, and absolutely some vulnerability of youth, of inexperience, and not quite yet ready to admit that to themselves. And then that's not a bad thing at all. It's just how it is. So there's something of this nature of yourself, and perhaps about someone or more than one, but probably a particular one that you know, that is it is like, I'm going to say, a sundown time. And when I say sundown, it doesn't mean the sun is leaving us. It means its light is going beneath the horizon for a time being. So it won't be visible for a while, but we know the sun is always present and always active and always influencing us. I keep saying that over and over. I just want you to have a powerful impression of this figure, of a person you may know and love, and of qualities of yourself that resonates with. To hold it with love and gentleness, and not fight that sundown time, and trust the sun will rise again. That's where that's at. The top of the reading the cards are laid out, is the Ace of Swords, one of my favorite cards in the deck. All aces are wonderful. The Ace of Swords, for me, it just has something very special, a quality of clarity and cleanness and decisiveness. It's a card that I sometimes call the aha card, and a bright idea, something that occurs just like a light bulb, the proverbial light bulb going on. Now, this is falling in the position of the reading of possibility, and I offer to you that in this position it is inviting you to ask yourself, what could I imagine? What bright idea might I be ready for, open to? Not one that I think up, but one that I open the windows of my house to and say, come in, fresh, bright, new morning air, talk to me. It's that, and I want you to, this card in the reading expresses a way to play in your imagination, to enliven your idea of what is possible for yourself and in this life altogether. It is a large presence. Anywhere it shows up in the reading, the Ace of Swords is asking for a lot. So I would offer to you that I would say, why don't you let yourself be bigger than you are? Be ready for a new belief, a belief of yourself and what's possible in your life and in this life. So really so much of what is apparent and manifest on earth comes from ideas. It comes from having an idea. And we are in times when we need big and great and new and fresh and large ideas. Ideas that aren't the ones we've been having, because we need to see new things in our world. And it's possible to see new things. It's more possible we will see them when we allow ourselves to have those great and new ideas. Open our minds wide for those bright, fresh morning air ideas. That's that card for you. Interesting ahead of you with a card in the position of what's ahead, the Five of Cups. Suit of the heart, suit of feelings. It's called disappointment. It's curiously almost a kind of opposite to this card called valor. I like to call it courage. Courage means more to me, myself, than valor. But and this one's called disappointment, and the colors are almost backwards. And this one has those orange, red, yellow color, hot color in the background, and in the foreground the cooler color, that blue cup. So this is speaking perhaps, or way I would say it's speaking to me right now, is that there's like a burning behind you, a burning emotion in the background. And the foreground, that burning, which you can call it whatever you like. This card calls it disappointment, something you're disappointed about, or that's disappointing to you. It's a marker for what it wants to show you. It wants to brighten your eyes too, and for what you might otherwise be looking at or looking for, which is almost the opposite of what you're disappointed in. And it doesn't cancel out the disappointment. It doesn't make it unreal. It's like it's utilizing the disappointment as a medicine to invite you again. There's an invitation in this reading to imagine something cooler to your mind and your heart, something that soothes you, that supports and nourishes and softens the sting of that disappointment, and then let that naturally and gently overtake and heal you and the disappointment. This card is often depicted as a person, a figure standing, looking at 3 cups that have fallen, and that their contents is spilled out, and it won't be, you can't get it back. And right behind the figure are 2 cups that are standing, perhaps full, perhaps empty, ready to be filled. But it expresses that, yes, as we look at our losses and our disappointments, that we don't turn our back on the cups that remain, the open places that are ready to be filled, or the places of ourselves which are already full. So that's a lot of words for this card, but that's something that is facing you, if I may say that. It's in the position of what you are facing, what you're looking at, and so look at it, and don't let it defeat you. Absorb it, listen to it, learn from it, and move on from it as a better, more filled up person. Here is the most beautiful card, one of my favorite cards in the deck, and actually I happen to know this is your personal soul card in this lifetime, the Priestess. Oh, she's such a glorious figure. She's all about calmness and centeredness and stillness and listening and receptivity, receiving the genius which comes to us from this thing called life that we are made of. But we're not always as aware of what we are made of and how to communicate with life. This life we are, the life that is greater than ourselves. She is the turning point of your reading. It's saying everything now is pivoting on you being in the presence of and indulging your own priestess self, your own way of receiving that benefit and that information and that clarity, so that you can incorporate it for yourself and bless it into your life and the life of others. Falling in the position of what I call the weather card, and when I say that, what I mean is those things that are in your cosmic orbit at this time. It's something around you. It's not so much who you are, but it's what's occurring around you. It's the Queen of Wands, who is also one of my most favorite figures in the deck. She's the Queen of Spirit, the Queen of Intuition, the Queen of knowing without knowing how you know. And so to me that's saying this is an amazing time, an environment for you, that you're in an environment of your own life and in life in general, in which information can't arrive to you. It's just in the air. She's a suit of fire, but fire is created by being in the presence of air, and it burns brighter and hotter in the presence of air. So think of her in terms of this bright idea. I'm giving you a lot to think about, a lot of imagery, and I'm hoping that and when I rearrange them, we'll kind of draw it into something a little more concise. Look at this card, which is falling in the position is called gain. That word is too small when you look at this card. You look at the explosion of energy in it, and the green and the pink and the blue. Nines are the perfectly ripened fruit of their suit. They are what the suit is expressing to its maximum beauty and meaning. So the suit of disc is about the suit of the real life physical world, the ground you live on, the body you live in, the work you do, the money you have, the places you go, the housing you have. This is saying to me that and I always say this about this card, it's how you can best spend your time and attention at this time is enacting your perfect world, making it come to life in the real world. It's not imaginary anymore. I urge you to begin to put in place, even if it's the smallest thing, even if it's a single spoon and like a set of silverware, even if it's only a scrap of fabric for which you want to imagine yourself being clothed in. You must put your hands on the pieces of the physical world that you want to be your physical reality. I offer to you, that's a fabulous exercise. You can like start a little collection for yourself. And I'm sorry, I use the word little. I don't mean it to be minimizing what I'm trying to express to you. It's time for you to really bloom in where you are on earth and what your earth looks like to you, how it feels, how it is seen by others. So that's a practice, that's an exercise, that's quite the homework. But look where everything is going. Another disc and another blooming, beautiful shape. This time it's more in the shape of a circle than this, though there's always, the discs are full of circles. Everything is moving to this extraordinary, happy, wholesome, healthy, successful manifestation. And to keep that up for yourself, and I would hold to you that you affirm it. You again, it's another thing I want you to talk about. Make it real. Speak of it in the present tense. Collect and acquire and organize and order things that reflect that success to you. And it will get larger and larger. Sixes in their suits, I always describe as perfect harmony in motion. It isn't something that is fixed or still or finished. It's something that is always in motion, but the motion is incredibly beautiful and ever perpetually, expressing itself in new and amazing ways. So that's the card to keep in your mind, and you're surrounded yourself. So let me rearrange them and see if we can tighten it up. Okay, what will I say? Well, they are talking to me, and you'll love this. I think you'll really get it. Wow, it's just gorgeous. It's really beautiful to me. All right, I want to start in the center of the reading, the way these cards are laid out at this time. The center being this beautiful card, Mars in Leo with the Queen of Wands, both in the suit of Wands, fiery, energetic, spiritual, passionate, on fire, expressive, creative, coming from the heart, no questions, no doubts, no fears, no self-consciousness. It's this amazement of something amazing to behold, very inspiring. So this is who you are at your core. It is what you are, and it's who you always will be. So I say to you, hallelujah, hooray, marvelous, magnificent, great, and more greatness to come. I want to look to you. I want to talk about this disappointment now, and it's paired with this Two of Wands, the warrior in the sign of Aries, and this now is a quartet, and there's all this emotional quality, this soft, fluid, watery energy against or with, connected to this hot crisscrossed wands. And I'm going to offer to you, this is two spirits crisscrossed, connected, and yet perhaps right now opposed or at odds, or not going in the same direction. And that could be very much where your disappointment is coming from. And then that is a disappointment. It's incredibly disappointing to have a spirit connection and not going in the same direction. What I'm going to say to you, this quartet is saying to me is, you are that situation, that crossing of spirits that is bringing your disappointment is surrounded with love, protection, and incredible genius. It is meant to be. It is not wrong. It is not broken. It is just the way it is. And so you are being loved and supported and watched over, protected for this experience to occur in you. Somehow you are the vessel for this disappointment to be held in this lifetime. I don't know why. I don't know why it couldn't happen without you experiencing that pain. But it's that way, and you're being loved for holding the pain and being this pouring of water of healing and comfort and power to bear you through it. Now, I want to show you this quartet, which is, it's like two wings of a butterfly. This is the butterfly's body, and here are the two wings. And it's like you have to have both the wings for the butterfly to have the flight. And so there has to be this conflict. There has to be this opposing directions. There has to be this heartbreak and disappointment in order, and somehow it's also divinely written or planned as part of the kaleidoscope of the amazement that we can't articulate, but we know it. We know it without speaking. We just know it. That is, look at this amazing quartet. It's such great happiness and power and strength and promise and health and forward motion, and it's very much about that figure that you may be feeling disappointment about. I'm not even getting it into words the way I wish I could. To me, this is just saying it's beautiful, it's not broken, it won't die, it won't fail, it won't crash and burn. It will find its way into something so magnificent and beautiful, and you have to be the carrier of that for now. The more you live it, the more it will bring that spirit with you that is just falling in the past. I just offer to you, you are in the lead here. Take it. Take the lead. Be the lead. Face up to that. Don't bemoan it. Don't stand in the shadows. Don't hold yourself down. Don't try for compromises. Don't try to bring someone with you. Stand up, and that will be the vision, the energetic key for the steps. I just believe that. I think you know it. I think you believe it. I'm just offering it to you to free that for yourself. Relieve yourself of pinning your foot down to the ground of that disappointment or that sorrow or that unhappiness, and trust that you are living fully the beauty of the truth of what you know is in the other one that you love. You don't have to hurt anymore from the disappointment. You have to live boldly for that one you love. That's part of why you're here. Part of why the two of you are connected. So, that's good news. speak